I know I did a video recently about there is no such thing in really as independent research, that everybody is researching something based on what somebody else wrote at some other time frame. So unless you're out there and you're discovering things on your own, you have to read other people's books, other people's understanding. You are reading the history from other people. But this is a popular statement, and I don't know if what side of the fence Nick was being on in this statement, because I don't remember the conversation. But he said, to be fair, if you aren't able to read Hebrew and are able to read the original scrolls, then you are reading someone else's interpretation of the Bible, aka someone else's research. Now, I understand the idea that if you cannot read an original language and you're trusting in someone else's interpretation, their interpretation could be incorrect, right? So I get that. I understand that aspect of it, because you do want to, that's why you read multiple people's interpretation when there's a translation involved. Absolutely right about that portion of it, Nick. But even in reading the original Hebrew, you are reading someone else's interpretation, either of a verbal story, or you're reading someone else's interpretation of what they picked up from the Sumerians or any other group, or what was in Proto-Hebrew that was converted over to the next level. So at some point, we're always reading someone else's interpretation of what was written by somebody else, or a thought process, or a storytelling by somebody else. This is why we have to look for archaeological evidence that supports the claim of literature. This is why literature is never proof alone. If there's no pottery, if there's no other writings, if there's no tablets, if we don't have canals and buildings and other artifacts, then we cannot say that this is a true event based on writing. The city of Troy was believed to be a myth until the one gentleman, I forgot his name, used the writings of Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, tracked it back, and actually found the city of Troy. Nineveh was believed to be a myth until the city was actually found. So you can read the ancient Hebrew and gain an understanding based on what those people at that time frame thought about events that happened much prior to them. So you still really don't know what the actual factuals are, but we make our best estimate, our best guess based on what we do have. And a person should learn Hebrew if they're going to study this.